Come on up. If I called your name, come on up. Martin Hyde.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor. All looking lovely this afternoon. I brought my yellow card in case the Mayor decides, or Mayor Shaw decides to boo me again, so we got that in order. My name is Martin Hyde. In a packed agenda today, we have 2 new tax grabs, 1 new tax for parking and 1 new tax for parks. They are both crafted by unelected city staff to add to the $28 million that they've already stolen from the local economy with tax increases this year so far. The bottomless pit theory of the majority of the City Commission as it relates to citizens being prepared to pay has one teeny tiny flaw, which is those pesky elections. Assuming move the date passes tomorrow, contrary to the majority of your wishes, the clock will begin ticking on the end of this tax and waste form of city government. To me, though, the darker and more worrying side of the current setup is the complete disregard for open government and truthfulness. 2 weeks ago, our city manager twice asked me not to copy him on emails. Of course, I laughed rather loudly at his Orwellian, or should I say, Chicago-style suggestions, but it follows a disturbing trail of events in recent times. You'll recall the removal of the public access computer at City Hall immediately after the scandal of the free tickets at the Van Wezel was exposed. The burying of the IACP report remains a mystery that not one of you has questioned, despite the police department being your most sacred and vital obligation to the citizens of Sarasota. Petty grudges, though, are alive and well here and are acted upon regularly. The continued attacks on the city clerk when the chief of police's own staff has recorded 3 times as many serious complaints against her is a good example. The city spends $30,000 of taxpayers' money on an investigation which is basically a vendetta into the clerk. Meanwhile, taxpayers are paying for the chief of police to visit, listen to this, 32 separate cities from as far afield as Quebec, Seattle and San Diego over the last 5 years. A good example of vindictive and personal attacks is that a former SPD captain who now has an $80,000 a year cushy, unadvertised city job took time recently to complain that police officers spent too much time at a cafe on Main Street. He'd know, as I often used to see him there. The point, though, is that an order came down saying they should limit their time there. Might we see a similar directive aimed at our regularly absent chief of police to account for her whereabouts? Will we be opening an internal affairs inquiry into her fender bender on Marco Island, breaching department regulations? Are we going to hear from even one of you about the IACP report? The answer, of course, is flat no. We'll get a deafening silence, and that's the very essence of a city government that's forgotten it serves the people and not its own selfish agenda. Thank you.
Sheldon Rich. We don't have clapping or booing from the gallery because everyone needs to be able to feel comfortable to speak no matter what they say. So please refrain from doing that. Thank you. Sheldon Rich.
Thank you.